The cold is brutal. Winds whipping into him, making his eyes sting and dragging pebbles and leaves to bounce on his torn buffalo skin pelt. Just have to go a little further, and I'm safe, he thinks to himself as he trudges through the knee-deep snow. He'd been hunting when the snowstorm hit, and by the time he realized how severe it truly was, every landmark he'd ever known was buried in snow, pure, dazzling white, enveloping everything. But the storm was anything but heavenly as it tore through his clothes like they were nothing. He'd already lost feeling in his feet and was starting to feel the same in his fingers. They burned as he cradled them in his armpits for warmth. He could feel himself starting to panic as he looks around, completely lost, despite having walked these woods for as long as he could remember. He looks to his left as he hears a crunch and sees his oldest friend collapse into the snow in exhaustion. Trudging over to him as fast as he can, he grabs his hunting partner's arms and starts to drag him. Keep going, brother. We can make it back. It can't be too far now, he says, more for himself than his companion. Finally, he sees a cave in the distance. With every last ounce of strength he has, he manages to pull him and his friend into the meager shelter. He collapses in exhaustion against his friend, praying that they'll wake up in the morning. The man has been trapped in the cave for 3 days now. He hunches over his companion, nudging him with his moccasin. Hey, we need to try and dig our way out. We're gonna die. I need you to wake up, he says, sighing in frustration as his friend only moans. Remaining still, the unconscious man had been crying out in his sleep again, most likely having fever dreams. There was no help coming for them. They'd probably gone the wrong way in the storm, moving further away from their tribe rather than towards them. When they'd fallen asleep that first night, the cave had gotten snowed in, trapping them inside with snow that had turned to a hardened icy surface over time. The air was shallow, his breaths coming out as little puffs of steam. No matter how much he bundled up, it seemed that he could never get warm. His stomach rumbled again, the sharp pangs of pain flowing through him. It had been at least 4 days since he'd eaten, and he was feeling the effects of starvation eat away at him every day. He went to the cave entrance again and tried scraping some of the snow out, but it was still rock hard. He scrapes at it until his fingers start to bleed, feeling the hopelessness of the situation grow with every scratch he does. Finally, he sits down in defeat next to his friend, fingers dripping blood onto the cave floor. He stares at the blood, and slowly, he brings his fingers to his mouth and licks up every last bit of it. The hunger pains slowly ebbing away a bit. It's been another 2 days. He can't think of anything other than food now. His friend has regained consciousness, but is still too weak to do anything other than lay there and moan while staring at him. He stands over his friend now, thinking back to all the things they had been through together. He remembers them learning how to hunt together, always working in pairs to follow the trails of deer, or learning how to set snares for smaller game. There's nothing more I can do to help you. I'm sorry, brother, but this is the only way I can make it home. We shouldn't both die for nothing. Panic sets in the eyes of the sick man as he realizes what is about to happen. He struggles in vain, using every last ounce of strength he has left to lift himself up. But he doesn't manage to pull himself up more than a couple inches off the ground. The man kneels down on top of his old friend and starts to strangle him, tears running down his face as he does. He feels the panic in his friend, wishing he could comfort him. But there's nothing he can do to help him, and only one way for him to survive through this storm. Finally, he feels the sick man stop struggling, and he sobs, knowing he can never come back from the fact that he killed his oldest friend just to survive. He kneels down next to him, and even as he tries to mourn, he feels the hunger tearing through him, poisoning his mind to care about nothing but a way to fill the hunger in him. Slowly, he brings his friend's arm up and tears into his flesh, almost moaning in pleasure as his stomach is finally filled with food. Faster and faster he tears into the flesh, devouring more and more until he feels as though his stomach is about to burst. When he looks down, his friend is unrecognizable. Just a lump of half-eaten meat. He reaches down to grab more, licking his lips in delight.